Afghanistan. Congressman Mike Turner was in that hearing today, pursuing a forceful line of questioning involving General Milley's calls to China today. And John Ratcliffe, the director of national intelligence at that time of those calls, he is standing by. First, we go to Congressman Turner, both a member of the Armed Services and Intelligence Committees. Congressman, good to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So you were pressing pretty hard on asking the Department of Defense if they would get you the intelligence that they had for this over-the-horizon drone strike that killed 10 civilians. Do you feel confident after that exchange that you are going to get what you need to understand just how good that over-the-horizon capability is and what the heck happened that day?
Right. So I think what we already know is how bad it is that there really isn't an over-horizon capability. Remember, the White House touted that they were going to demonstrate it in this missile attack that occurred from a drone that killed an innocent man and his family. We're asking for the data and information. But what it illustrates, especially since the White House touted that this was an example of their ability to do that, is al-Qaeda is still present. ISIS is still present. The threat from Afghanistan is still there, even though the president denies it. His military advisors told him to keep 2,500 troops there because of the weakness of an over-the-horizon strategy. And in fact, an over-the-horizon strategy currently does not exist.
You know, you made, I thought, a good point and something that people should think about with regard to that drone strike, because we were told that the intelligence was so strong that they knew that they had to take that strike because it presented an imminent threat to our people. And I think every American would understand that. But after that, there wasn't a strike elsewhere. Thank God there wasn't a strike elsewhere.
Right.
But that really makes two wrongs.
Right. So they said that they had to take this action under the heat of the battle because of an imminent threat. And they got the wrong guy. So if they got the wrong guy and if their intelligence was so great, then an attack should have happened. And as you said, thank God that it did not. But what it also shows is that there's this huge exaggeration into the abandoning of the normal protocols. General McKenzie has admitted, they did not know who was in that car. They did not know who lived in that house. And they did not know who was there. And yet they took this shot anyway. And there's certainly an expectation, especially on the part of Congress, that there are protocols in place that if any over-the-horizon effort is taken against terrorists to try to disrupt their activities, they were actually shooting terrorists.
Yeah, well, we're going to play this later, but Congressman Michael Waltz was very compelling on this as well. He said, if I'm the one who's ordering that strike, I would love to have a civilian eyes on the ground that can look into that car from some distance and say, don't take this shot. And we don't have that anymore. And that was very apparent on that day. You also pressed hard on the intelligence because General Milley has been saying, you know, we had all of this intelligence that China's was very perturbed. They felt there was an imminent attack coming, and I needed to get on the phone, says General Milley, in order to assure them that that was not happening. I needed to calm that, to de-escalate that situation. You seem to suggest that you don't think that that intelligence merited that.
Well, here's the thing. You know, he's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. His job is not to get on the phone with his counterpart and then talk to the press and Congress and the White House, hear this story in the New York Times, the Washington Post. You know, the Secretary of Defense should have been engaged. The Secretary of State should have been engaged. Certainly Congress and the Intel Committee. If we were all the way to the point where either China or Russia believed an attack from the United States was imminent, again, something that's never happened in my lifetime, it bodes more than just a phone call from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. But he wants us all to know about how he took action, when in fact the action he didn't take was to tell his superiors, engage the government, and make certain the United States government engaged with China to ensure that there was no misunderstanding. That was not happening.
All right, we're going to dig into that more. Thank you very much, Congressman Turner. Good to have you here. So,